branched. Stem, that is aerial, erect and branched. These are the normal characters that can be seen in the stem. Okay, next in the Euphorbiaceae family, the specialized character, that is nothing but the stem is modified and give rise to the phylloid. Phylloids are nothing but, if you see the picture of these leaves, the leaves are flattened like and gives the phylloid like appearance. So it is called as a phylloid that can be seen in a Euphorbiaceae species. And next one is the leaf, and leaf are exstipulates, that means the stipules are absent in some species, and also petiolate, that means the stalk that can be joined a leaf. For example, if the leaf that is joined by a stalk, it is called as a petiole. That means if in the leaf characters the stipules are in some species, the stipules are absent and petioles are present. The leaf can be joined with a petiole, it is called as a petiolate. And the leaves, how the leaves are arranged? In a alternate manner. In the same way, the inflorescence are also arranged in a opposite manner, and these inflorescence can be in a bunch like, that is called as a panicle. And next one is the in the leaf, for example, in some species, that is nothing but a croton on codium species, they have the different colored spots on the leaf that are called as a variegated leaf. That means in the leaf, different color of spots that can be seen in a certain species. So these are all the specialized characters that can be seen in a Euphorbiaceae species. And in xerophytic plants, the Euphorbiaceae members, the stipules are modified into a spines. In xerophytic conditions, for example, in xerophytic plants, these stipules are modified into a spines like. Okay, and next one is the venation. The venation can be seen in a reticulate venation. If you see the diagram, see the oppositely the veins are there, and it is called as a reticulate venation. Commonly, these reticulate venation can be seen in hibiscus, for example. So this type of reticulate venation can be seen in a Euphorbiaceae family also. And next one is the floral characters. The floral characters, first one is the inflorescence. So there are different type of inflorescence can be seen. For example, in resinous and crotinous species, the inflorescence can be panicle, that means bunch like. The inflorescence can be panicle, that means bunch like. In a whorl like, the inflorescence can be seen in a resinous and croton species. And in the axillary inflorescence and also solitary flowers are seen in the Phyllianthus species. That means in the Amla species, the axillary, that means in middle of the stem, the axillary flower can be originated. In the middle of the stem, the axillary flower can be originated. If you see the diagram, how the flower can be seen in the middle of the stem, so it is called as an axillary position. And next one is the solitary flower. Solitary single flower can be seen in Phyllianthus species, Phyllianthus Amla species. So these are all the characters of the Amla species. That means the flower can be single flower can be seen. Locally we can see the hibiscus flower. This hibiscus flower is a solitary flower. In the same way, in the Phyllianthus species also we have the solitary flower. So these are all the inflorescence characters of the Euphorbiaceae. And next one is the inflorescence in Jatropha species will have a cactin-like appearance. That means if you see the diagram, so this is nothing but a cactin-like inflorescence that can be seen in a Jatropha. In Jatropha species, the inflorescence look like a cactin-like appearance. So this is nothing but a cactin-like appearance. And the flower, next we go for the flower. In Cyathecium species, the inflorescence can be seen somewhat differently. In Cyathecium inflorescence, that means at the receptacle part, at the receptacle area, they have a cup-shaped like structure. The cup-shaped like structure, that means in the receptacle, all the stamens, flowers are placed and they give rise to a cup-shaped like structure. These females are surrounded by the male flowers. Females are secretes the nectary glands. Okay, these bracts are present. These bracts are colored like. In the Cyathecium inflorescence, the bracts are present. They are colored like. Okay, in Cyathecium inflorescence, the receptacle look like a cup-shaped structure. Cup-shaped structure. So these females are surrounded by the male one. So females will have the nectary glands and bracts are colored. So next we'll go for the flower one. Flowers are bracteate, that means bracts are present. Pedicellate, that means pedicel, the stalks are present. That means here it is, the diagram shows the presence of pedicel. Here the diagram shows the absence of pedicel. So it is called as sessile. If the pedicel is present, it is called as a diagram. Like this diagram can be seen. If the pedicel is absent, so it is called as a sessile. Cyathecium will have the no pedicel, and ebracteate, bracts are absent. For example, if you see the diagram, small hair-like structures can be seen. It is called as a bracts. So if the bracts are present, bracteate. The bracts are absent, ebracteate. The pedicels are present, the diagram shows like this. If the pedicels are absent, they are called as a sessile. Incomplete, the flower is incomplete. That means sepals, petals and stamens, pistils. In these four characters, any one of them is not present, it is called as a incomplete. For example, calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. In these four characters, anyone is absent, it is called as a incomplete. Unisexual, that means male or female can be present in a plant. So it is called as a unisexual. And actinomorphic, if the flower can be cut into a one plane, will get the equal halves. It is called as a actinomorphic. And cyclic is nothing but circularly pentamerous flowers can be seen. 5 flowers are arranged. So it is called as a cyclic pentamerous. And monoclamidous, single, clamidous, no calyx or corolla. The perianth can be seen. The perianth covers by a single clamidous.